Welcome to the Black and Green podcast. It's your go-to place to find the latest high-quality, all-natural products created by Black artisans. Hosted by yours truly, Dr. Kristian H., the founder of Black and Green. We'll discuss all things health, wellness, self-care, and of course, self-love. This podcast features a refreshing lineup of guests, from entrepreneurs and artisans to holistic lifestylists and clean beauty experts, and a plethora of other innovators within the wellness industry. Join me as we learn from the best of the best.
From the best of the best. Thank you so much for joining me today. Before you give us your name and all that, I want you to tell us today, how are you showing up in the world? My own little personal mantra I created a couple years ago was to be happy, be healthy, be free. Which one resonates with you the most currently?
Oh, probably, to be free, I think.
I
You know,
love
I have I have my own mantra for my year, that I speak to myself every morning, and it's, "I'm a fearless, joyful, wise woman who can do anything."
Ooh, I love that. I love that. So tell me, what made you create? Made you create? Pick freedom, and what made you create your mantra?
One of the things that I've been just working on with myself, right, is like, sometimes you get these situations where you're like, you want to be right all the time. And several years ago, someone had asked me the question, like, do you want to be right or do you want to be free? And for me, the answer was free. And so I try to embody that basically like every day, like no matter what's going on, the goal for me is to always be free. And that kind of gets exemplified in different ways.
Um,
But that is really the true like goal of my life, I think, to just be as free and be as me as possible.
yes, yes, that's exactly what I was going to ask you. What does being free mean? What does that look like?
Yeah. For me, I think it's just the freedom to be the person that I am in all circumstances. And, from a personal point, like I feel like at my day job, for a while, I felt like, okay, I have to be day job Bethany and be in that mode, but it really made me unhappy and disgruntled every single year that I was being, the work version of myself. And so I am striving to be Bethany, how I am all the time, no matter where you catch me. If you catch me at work, you catch me at the grocery store, you catch me at home, I'm free because I'm just being me and you can take me how you want me, but that's what you're going to get.
Love that. So, like, the definition of freedom is free to be myself in all, no matter where I am. I'm always my authentic self. And so it's interesting that striving for authenticity, I feel like comes up a lot for Black women. And it just has me pondering or thinking, what made us think that we couldn't be ourselves?
Yeah.
What made
Yeah.
us think that we couldn't be ourselves?
And I have reflected on not that exact question, but something similar to it in that a couple years ago, as I was beginning my journey to get back to myself, I was like, when was the last time I was happy with me? And I think back, like kind of like early, kind of right before middle school where I was just, the person I like to be. I used to like sit around and read my books because that brought me joy. I used to just like sit outside and sunbathe like all the time. And I just, for me, reflecting on my life, it's like, going through the journey of, being in school, right? Like, okay, well, you got to act this certain way in school. Then it's like, for some of us that were raised in the church, right? Then it's like, well, if you're at church, you need to be behaving like this. And then once you get, more degrees and more responsibility. And I just felt like slowly every year, a little bit of me was getting stripped away just by expectations of everyone else around me until I looked up and I'm like, who even is this person that I'm like staring at in the mirror, because this is not how I thought it was going to be.
Yes. Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
interesting the role of expectations and, like, on some levels, is the expectation wrong? Like, yes, a person, an adult, a family member, I have expectations of people. What I'm coming to realize and understand, the expectation of itself isn't wrong, it's what I do with it.
Correct. Yes.
Like, what do I like, am I allowing the expectation to change who I am naturally on my own?
Hmm.
And so, like,
Right.
that's a powerful thing for that I'm learning is that I can't allow someone's expectation of me to change who I am. I can't be true. I have to always be true to myself. And sometimes that authenticity will meet your expectations. It will exceed your expectation. And sometimes it won't. And I have to be okay when my true essence will not meet your expectations.
Yes. And I agree with everything you just said. You know, going to that point, like when I was starting to like be like, just be yourself, especially at work. This was something that I really faced a lot. My field is highly dominated by, like 65-year-old white men. And they would have their expectations of me. And I remember I would be in my office sometimes like, well, so and so is like this, and he's like that, and he's like that. And then it hit me like, he's just being himself. He's gotten this far with the freedom to be who he is, whether it's crazy, whether it's ridiculous, whether it's, sometimes honorable, whatever. He's just being himself. And I'm like, I'm entitled to be that too. Like, sure, somebody might be like, oh, Beth is a little bit weird, but, she does what she does. And that is perfectly fine. And so,
Mhm.
kind of like looking around, talking about these expectations, like I was feeling like I was putting a lot of weight on myself to meet up to them. But I'm like, other people don't have that burden in their life. They're free to be them. And I'm trying to be like that too.
And like, wait a minute, it's like, then you start asking yourself questions. Why am I doing this to myself? Ain't nobody
Yes,
told me to do that. Why am I doing this?
correct.
Okay. So I love not just hopping out and saying, tell me about your brand. I love like to learn
Uh-huh,
about you
uh-huh.
and kind of where you're staying in the world. And then from us knowing that, now talk about your brand and what you created and why you created it.
Okay, yes. Yeah, I was not expecting that as the first question, but I love it as an intro. So, my name is Bethany. I am the founder of Saint Nell, which is a non-toxic nail care and wellness company. And basically, what we do is that we develop healthier alternatives to a lot of people's favorite nail care products. So, for example, we create vegan nail polish. We have a line of plant-based oils for your cuticles or other body parts. We have a plant-based hand cream, and we produce high-quality nail tools because for many of us, getting our nails done is a thing we're going to do. Like, we're not going to stop it, but there's no reason that we should be using, ingredients that might harm us while we're in that process. And so that's kind of our main goal here with Saint Nell.
Yes, I love it. And a trick that I learned a couple of years ago, and you might already know this, and might not be a trick for you. When I learned I can take my own nail polish to the salon. I was like, "Whoa!" But because I at
Yes.
first to talk you through my stupidity a little bit, I was like, "I'm not gonna paint my own nails. Like, I'm just ain't gonna do it. It don't make sense for me to buy nail polish 'cause I'm not gonna paint my own nails." And I was having this conversation with someone. Actually, I was at the nail salon. And I saw this woman bring hers in. I said, "You can bring your own polish?"
Look.
And I was so excited, like, "Oh my gosh, this is perfect." Because I have a bit of, decision fatigue when I'm trying to pick out my
Okay.
color at the nail salon. I will stay in there for a lot longer than I want to admit, trying to pick
Okay.
the right
Yes.
color. But if I can pick a color out my home and bring it, one, it's the right color, and two, it don't have all this crazy toxic stuff in it. It's just like, why didn't anyone tell me this?"
Yes. No, I agree 100% with you. Like when I had first realized, like, oh, I can show up with my own polish and y'all will paint that. Like it really opened up the doors for me because like it is. They put you in front of this rack and it's like 300 colors. Like, all right, pick your color like in 3 minutes. And it's like, wait, no, frame. But also, on our blog, we have an article there, and it's nail care for the immunocompromised, and
Oh,
it's all about because I have an autoimmune disease, and so I know that for some people that have very vulnerable immune systems, they don't even mess with nail salons because it's like it could just seem like a bacteria factory. But what we remind people like one, bring your own polish, but also like if you have your own nail tools and you don't feel comfortable, bring your own nail tools and just ask them like, can you use mine instead?
yeah,
So you can expand it beyond the polish. Like you can.
exactly.
I encourage people to do so.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw someone, and I during the height of COVID, everyone was wearing masks. But I saw someone wearing masks in the nail salons before that was even a thing. And so that also hit me like, oh, you could actually wear a mask because you brought your non-toxic nail polish, but they might be using some toxic stuff up in here. So you want to protect yourself. I
Exactly.
now go to a nail salon that all their polishes are non-toxic. And so that it took time to find that place. So if you haven't found it, I encourage folks, bring your mask
Definitely, for sure. I 100% agree.
and bring your mask and mask up. So tell me, what's the story about or behind polish? Why did you pick polish to be the thing that you want to create? Did you feel like you couldn't find one that met your needs? Like, just tell me the story. I don't wanna create the story for you.
Yeah. So, when I was about like a senior in high school, I had got sick one night. I had got a stomach ache, and little did I know it did not go away for years.
Ooh.
And I was suffering for, I mean, seriously, it was about 3 years where every day I would wake up and having severe abdominal pain. I was lost so much weight. I'm a really small lady already. I'm only 5 feet tall. But when I tell you, like, I could see my ribs,
Ooh.
and I was just excruciating to where I wasn't sleeping for months. I couldn't use the restroom. And I was going to the doctor consistently, and no one was really taking me seriously. Because at this time, too, I was like, I had just started college, so I was only 18 years old, and I wasn't really the best
Mm,
advocate for myself.
really feel?
And so anyway, not to make it a long story, but years later, maybe 3 years later, I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease, which is an autoimmune disease that attacks your gastrointestinal tract, mainly the small intestine. And so after I got diagnosed, I was like, "Okay, let me figure out, like, what's this disease come from? How did I get it?" And I learned that they don't know what causes it, but they believe that it's from, chemicals that your mother is exposed to while you're in the uterus. So basically environmental factors. And if you live in a lower income area, which my family, we're from the Gary, Indiana area. That's where I was
Mhm,
born,
mhm.
with a lot of steel. It's really like a lower income community. And so I'm certain that a lot of that had to do with it. But anyway, so once I found that out, I was like, well, let me be more responsible about the things that I'm putting on my body. And I really made a lot of changes. But ever since childhood, I've always been a nail polish girl. Like I never, I just started wearing lipstick a couple years ago. Like I'm not even into makeup like that, but I was always, always, always doing my nails. In middle school, I used to change my polish like 2 to 3 times a week, depending on my outfit. Like that was me.
Yes.
And so, yeah, I was dead serious. Yes. And so when I learned about, how personal care products can have harmful chemicals, first thing I did was look up my nail polish, and I would realize, like, oh my goodness, this stuff is filled with disgusting things I would never keep in my closet, let alone put on my body. And so for me, the top priority was figuring out how I can keep my nail polish habit up without feeling like I was compromising my health. And so this was before, nobody was selling vegan nail polish at this time. It wasn't a popular thing. And I discovered a community of mainly like housewives in the Midwest who were making their own vegan nail polish at home. And so it kind of just sparked the idea in me. I kind of just started doing it at home for myself as a fun
That's
little
so
thing.
cool.
But over the years, I kind of got better. I got a system, and people started encouraging me to sell it, which I did start to do. And like, I think I started in 2016 selling my polish at markets. But really, it was just like a journey of I needed this for my own self. But I realized that one, I enjoyed it, but also I was like, I'm sure other women also and men like wear polish would also like to have a healthier alternative and not be putting,
Yes.
formaldehyde all over their hands.
I love it, I love it. You said something I wanna dig into. I didn't really know how to advocate for myself because I was so young. How did you learn how to advocate for yourself, and what are tips that you can give to someone who's listening to this to how to advocate for themselves?
Yeah. So, in the beginning, when I still wasn't a really great advocate for myself, the first thing I did was just arm myself with information because I felt like, okay, no one is listening to me. So maybe if I go in with some information, one, they will recognize, like, okay, she has been looking stuff up on herself. Maybe she is slightly concerned more than I think that she is. But also, it just really helped me try to figure out where I needed to be because I wasn't getting the help that I needed at that time. But one tool that I found was extraordinarily helpful for me was to bring someone with me to my medical appointments, right? And so, because you know how sometimes it is where you don't speak up for yourself, but somebody that loves you is there, they're going to speak up for you. And so I know I've had this experience with my own brother where he was going to the doctor and wasn't really getting results. And so I would go with him and, they might ask him a question and he would answer. And I'd be like, also, doctor, though, but this is also happening da 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 times a week. time he left, he'd be like, "Thank you, Beth, for being there. Like, you always bring up stuff I forgot in the moment." But I was like, "This is what I had wished I had at the time," you
Yes,
know? And
yes,
it's an easy thing to do because we all pretty much have at least one person that we trust that we
yes.
can take with us. And so I would say if you're not at the point where you're like, "I'm not being a good advocate for myself," take someone who you love, who you know will support you, and they can help be the advocacy bridge
Yes,
for you.
I love that. Another piece of advice I give people too is when you're in those meetings and appointments, you always forget stuff. I always forget stuff when I'm in those
Mhm.
when I'm going to a doctor's appointment. So something I started doing a couple of years ago is I write everything down. Here are all my concerns. Here's what's been happening. And I write it all down. I make a couple of copies of it. I say, here you go. Here's what's happening. Can we put this in my chart? So I want everyone to know to allow you to take some more responsibility. Because I would be so
Yes.
frustrated myself. I said, I forgot to say this. I forgot to say that. That won't be documented now. But if you pre-write it all down, you can force them to document it for you.
Yes. Yes, that is such a good tip, and I'm definitely gonna take that one from you.
Yeah, please. I want as many Black women taking steps as possible, but I always encourage people to bring someone with you, write all the
Yes.
stuff down, and then I think it's a great do more research and print stuff off. Like, don't force yourself
Yes.
to memorize all the things you looked up. Print it off. Like, I found this article, and have all your questions ready. Write down what's been happening and write down your questions. Can you explain this? I found this article and paper. It said this. Do I have that? And almost also
Mhm.
as we're testing, like, could you test for this too? Like, I'm curious because what I'm learning is that some doctors they do what you tell them to do, and so
Yep.
the
Yeah.
more research you do and the more direction you can give them, the better.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, and especially for us, like those of us that are Black and brown, right? Like one issue that I had with my disease is that Crohn's disease is normally attacks Jewish people. And so my doctor later told me like this was never on the radar of something we were looking for you because you don't fit the demographics of what's expected. But I remember early doing my research that Crohn's disease had came up in my research. And in retrospect, I was like, man, I wish I had just like asked them that ahead of time because it just wasn't on their radar, but if I had brought it up, it might be. And so, yeah, I definitely support people, doing your own research, come to the doctor with suggestions because, you know, I don't disparage doctors. Like they're all doing their job. They're doing what they know, but don't nobody care about your body like you do. And this
Yes.
is a hard lesson I had to learn,
Yes. Yes.
so sometimes you got to be pushing them because they're doing their job, but I'm trying to live.
Exactly that. And like I always remind people, they are a person who just went
Yep.
through some training. They are a person and people can make mistakes. They
Yes.
are a person. Just I talk to my family. Well, my doctor said this and my doctor said that. I said, but your doctor could have been wrong. I hate to say it, doctor
It's
could
a
have been
fact.
wrong. I said, ask again, ask another doctor, get multiple opinions. It's just one person, and one person can be wrong. Like,
Yes.
they're human.
Yes, yeah, no, and it is, it's just important for us, especially with our health. It's like we have to be like people are, with their kids when they're in school, where they be writing the teachers and stuff like
Yep,
that because you want to
yep.
make sure your kid is getting appropriately treated at school. We got to be like that with our own selves
Yes, yes,
sometimes,
yes, yes, like, you deserve that much care. Like, push to make sure you're always getting 100%.
Yes,
Right, we're
always.
gonna stop for a meditation.
Okay.
Wherever you are right now, just take a moment to experience your awareness. Notice what you see, notice what you hear, notice what you feel. What do you taste? Notice your being for what it is right now. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, let it all the way out. And as you're exhaling, think about that oxygen moving to your heart. Get rid of those toxins that happen from residual volume when we don't completely breathe in and out. As you breathe in and you exhale fully, you're letting go of what's no longer serving you so that the oxygen that comes to your heart allows you to give and receive love with boundaries, but no longer the walls that the toxicity creates. Continue in this breath. Continue in this being. And as you're in this being, start to become the love that you seek in this world. Start to become the forgiveness that you seek in this world. Become the acceptance that you seek in this world. And watch the universe mirror that back to you. I just wanted you to know that I am here always, for you, with you. Listen closely. The truth is within my voice. Come back to me as often as you like. I'll be here. Sincerely, your breath.
What came up for you after that meditation?
Honestly, it kind of took me to a place. One of my favorite places to be is outside in nature. So I kind of just transported myself to like a forest with trees where I feel like I can breathe deeply. You know what I mean?
That is amazing because I went there too, and so I was like, "Oh my god," and there's, like, snow outside here. I said, "Oh my goodness, I cannot wait until I can go outside again and walk around again." Like, I'm looking forward to that so much. That's exactly where my brain was.
Yes.
I don't know if there's something about, like, a deep breathing that makes you just crave nature, but it did that.
Yes, no, it is. I love it. Yeah, just something about, I mean, obviously, right? Our bodies need it. That's why people feel so good when they take these deep
Yep,
breaths. And it's good
yep.
to have reminders like this, like these short meditations. Yes.
Yes, man, oh my god. And then it's interesting of, like, I feel like there's a lot of little things that are so powerful for our health that we just don't that we aren't taught. Um, the power of taking a deep breath, the power of being outside, like,
Yes.
the power of going on a quick walk, like, the power of being quiet for a moment? Like, what are other techniques and strategies of little small things to do that can help you bounce back that don't cost any money?
You know, I'm gonna the last one you mentioned, which is the power of just being silent for a moment, right? Like that was one thing for me where, you know, for a while, I just felt like my brain was constantly like a hamster on a wheel, right? Just always running, all kind of random thoughts. Some of them were mine, some of them were not mine, worries all the time, just consistently going. And I had really got into meditation, and part of that was I had did it once at my school. They brought in these Buddhist monks, and that was the first time I just did it because I wanted to go. But I was just when I left, I'm like, my goodness, like, we just sat there in silence for, like, 20 minutes, but I was like, "This is the most calm my brain has felt in so long," and so I really committed to have doing more meditation, but even if I don't have time for meditation, just sitting alone in silence, and I'll particularly do it, sometimes I get very stressed or, like, you can kinda feel, like, anxiety, like, creeping up on you because there's a project happening or someone's in your phone, mainly for me, my emails talking crazy to me, and so sometimes what I do is just I cut the laptop off, I cut the lights out, and I would just sit there in dead silence for 5 minutes, and it is surprising what that will do just to get myself recentered, not even doing or saying anything.
Oh, I love it. I love it. A strategy I found like last week is I was in my car and I'm always listening to podcasts, listen to music. And one day I was like, you're not gonna listen to nothing. Just see how silence feels. And I was like, this is interesting. But it's like you kind of pick every moment and fill it in with noise.
Yep,
What if you just drive in silence and actually are present? Because I am working on being more present and I realize I'm always trying to do seven things at once, which means I'm doing nothing good and seven things
yep,
mean
same.
I said, Kristen, what if you don't have music playing, you don't have a podcast, and you just drive really good? Like that's what we're doing right now. We driving at A level drive.
Yes, yes, and you know what? Sometimes when I do that, like, I was driving to my office the other day, it's 10 minutes from my place, and I tried what you were talking about, like, where I was like, "Imma just not put nothing on," and I looked up at the hills because 'cause I'm in Southern California, so we have all these hills, and I legit was like, I don't know if I've ever seen this big hill in front of me. Like, I just have never noticed it because I'm always, driving, listening to podcasts or thinking about what Imma do when I get to the office, and I was like, "This is so beautiful," and I cannot believe that I never even appreciate this beautiful thing in front of me every day.
Oh, I know. It's like, I'm just trying to read. I'm trying to. I have a personal goal to get 1% better every single day, and so every day I'm trying to identify what's that new area of things I can work on. And so presence is one I was working on, and my strategy I was working on for presence is like stop, look around, and just name things around you that you can be grateful for. That forces yourself to just see what's in your spaces, and see what's around you, and being in tune with it, and that was my strategy to try to help myself be more present.
Yes, I love that. It's so important though, because it's crazy that have to practice to be present, but we do because clearly we're all wrapped up in what's going on. It's like, but it's so important just to be here where we are in this moment.
Yes, yes, and it's I don't know if it's sad or if it's a good thing. I don't know if it's sad I'm trying to
Hmm.
make myself be present or if it's a good thing I'm trying to do it. So who
I'm
knows
trying to do it
where
right.
you go with it. But I'm grateful nonetheless that
Same.
I my ego is not big enough for me to be unaware of things that need to be worked on.
Yeah. No, it's important. And, like, once it was an ex-boyfriend who told me that, I was too uptight because I'm trying
Okay.
to improve myself
Uh-huh.
essentially.
Mhm.
And, it upset me in the moment, but I was like, one, I'm not going to let this man told me like ruin me or change me. But also I was like, I strongly disagree with that sentiment. I think that it is important for all of us. I'm not trying to tell anybody what your end goal or what your better version of yourself to be is,
Yes.
but I do think that it's important for all of us to have our own vision of how we want to be, what's better for us, and to just, like you said, 1%, just a little bit every day, be pushing forward towards that goal.
Yeah, and this and wanting to be around people who understand that.
Yes, right, exactly.
What who understand that. So I think that that is so important, and that's another area of my life that I'm being very intentional about is about the community I keep and my
Yes,
environment and understanding that the nature of who I am is a reflection of who is around me. And so understanding that, I have to be very intentional about who is around me.
correct, right. And that is, I know that for many people that is a struggle, right? Because for some people, unfortunately, the family around them is not really supporting them or pushing them where they need to be.
Yep,
And so, in those instances, like you got to do what you can to slowly. I mean, maybe you can't cut off all your friend group and your family. I don't necessarily think
exactly.
everyone should cut their family off,
Yes,
but like, okay, well, let me find one new friend that is actually aligned with some of the things that I believe and slowly work towards that because it is so important to have people around you that are supporting you and that believe in you, even if they don't understand what you're doing necessarily.
exactly.
They are supporting you on your mission.
Exactly, and that I think it's not necessarily about cutting them off. The language I learned is repositioning people, and so it's not cutting someone on or off. It's just that when someone shows you who they are, and someone shows you what's important to them, and someone shows you how they want to operate in your life, it's your responsibility to kind of reposition them in your life. Say, okay,
Yes.
I understand this is kind of where you are. I have grace and compassion to understand that is where you are, but the way it's impacting me, I have to reposition you to be in a place where it's not gonna impact me too strongly. It's just the power of repositioning. It's not cutting, it's not removing, it's just like shifting.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's like some people, with your wardrobe, right? Like sometimes when it's wintertime, you move your sundresses to the back of the closet because it's not like I'm done with sundresses. Just right in this time, it's not the time for that.
I love that. It's a perfect way of looking at it. It's just like your closet. It's not always sundress season. It's not
Correct.
always fur coat season, but I'm gonna
Right.
move you in and move you out as the season switches. Your role.
Yes, correct. That is true.
I was even thinking about like the idea of like trauma bonding. Like if I'm going through a trauma, maybe I'm going trauma bond with somebody else, but as I'm working through that trauma, it's like, ooh, I don't have
Uh-huh.
that same trauma bond pull on me anymore. Then I think I'm going to create some space now.
Exactly, right, and it's not saying you're never gonna speak to that person again, but we just right now, yes, we gotta have some space.
That season, it was perfect, but now I'm going into a new season, you know?
Mhm, yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Self awareness, understanding where you are, what you need, what support you need. And so it's beautiful. Like life is beautiful.
It is, and I'm one thing that I really love is that, more people are becoming open to just some of the things that we've just been expressing in the last, 30 minutes or so, like, it's okay to, like, take time for yourself. It's okay to think about where you wanna go. It's okay to say, "Alright, I need to separate myself from some people in my life for a time, but maybe I can come back to them later." It's like, you're allowed to be open and explore and manage your life in the way that's appropriate and not just,
Yes,
how you've always done things, and I'm
yes,
happy that people are being open to those ideas now.
yes, yes. I am too. It brings me so much joy that, especially Black women, it brings me so much joy that that Black women are saying we can control our own life now. And I'm not going to let
Yes,
society tell me what I should be. I'm going to follow my instinct. I'm going to trust where I need to go. I'm going to reposition and I'm going to pivot and I'm going to live in my truth. I don't care what anyone says about that. That makes me so happy to see Black women
it
doing it.
does. It does. It brings me complete joy.
Yeah, so I was like, yeah, girl, tell them. Is there anything else you want to mention that we haven't got to?
Well, the only thing, business-wise, 'cause I've been thoroughly enjoying our lovely conversation, but, going back to what we were talking about previously about, time alone and having some silence with yourself.
Huh?
Saint Nell, we have a sister brand that it's a new
Oh.
company, it's called Saint Foot Sanctuary.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
And it's a brick and mortar. We're opening up a spa here in Southern California. But it's basically a foot sanctuary for those that don't know. It's a boutique spa that just only focuses on the feet and the lower legs. So it offers foot soaks, foot massages only up to the knees, no need to disrobe or get naked or anything like that. But the impetus for that was that, as a working professional, I frequently talk to my other working professional friends, and it's like everywhere I look around, everyone is just tired, and people feel like they're overworked. They don't have vacation time. They feel like they can't take vacation because they need to make money. And so people, we get stuck in our home on our grind, and we're just there grinding, 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 and never taking a moment for ourselves because many people feel like I need a vacation to really step away. And so I wanted to build something at home, like in my community, where people feel like they can come, disconnect from the outside world, have a little mini retreat, but not have to leave the sanctuary of their city. And just really the point of it is to have some time with yourself. Take the 30 minutes, take the hour to sit there. You're getting a foot massage, but you're also having that moment to reconnect. And for some people, I know because they have told me they never even get 30 minutes alone in their whole week because they're either working or mothering or spousing or, friending. And so, we're really excited. We're doing experience pop-ups throughout the spring. We'll be opening our doors later this year. But I just want to encourage everyone, please, follow us on the socials, join our email list to follow our journey because it's not just one about foot massages. It's really a journey about us reconnecting through silence to the deeper parts of ourselves.
I love it. The reconnecting through silence. I just want to make sure I bring attention to that reconnecting through silence. Silence is so powerful.
It is.
Gosh,
It is.
I'm so excited for
Yeah.
what you're creating. And whenever I travel to Cali, I'm definitely going to try to come find it.
Yes. Yes. You have a complimentary visit when you get here.
Yay! Put that on my travel list.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for being a part of the Black and Green family.
Thank you for having us. I like to brag to people because I have been with Black and Green for a while now. For my previous company, we transitioned into St. Nell, and when we transitioned, we did not keep doing the same things. But I told the team, I'm like, we have been with Black and Green, and we are going to stay with Black and Green because
Yeah.
I love everything that you're doing with this company. I love watching it grow. I love watching it transition, and I'm happy just to be a part of the movement that you're creating over there.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That means so much. It really does mean a lot. All right, let me see.
Welcome. Thank you for tuning into the Black and Green podcast. Did you have more questions for our special guest? Please leave your questions in the comment section. Also, check us out at blkgrn.com. Please subscribe and comment. We love hearing from you. Until next time, buy Black and live green.